Welcome to Fiscal Integrity Group, your ticket to bookkeeping greatness.
Insurance protecting your assets. In this workshop, we're going to discuss why bookkeepers do need insurance, the types of coverage you should consider, and how to find a trusted insurance broker so you can figure out what type of policy you need. Many business owners usually see insurance as a negative expense, well, until they need it. I've also come across many bookkeepers in business saying that insurance is a waste of money, especially when it comes to freelancing. Well, I beg to differ, and I would like to offer up 10 reasons why insurance is very important in the bookkeeping industry. Number 1, to protect your business and its assets. It doesn't matter whether you're an exceptional bookkeeper or if it is about negligence or not. As a matter of fact, in many lawsuits, negligence is not the case. However, it does cost money in legal fees to prove you're innocent. This is the main reason for insurance, proving you're innocent. Legal fees add up quickly, and this is why many professionals have their policies covering them between 2 and 5 million when it comes to errors and omissions. If you're a sole proprietor and have no protection under a corporation, then your personal assets could be at risk if you are found negligent. For example, this could be your home. Therefore, there are 3 considerations to think about. A, incorporate your company because clients can sue the corporation, but then they do not have access to your personal assets outside of that corporation. As a sole proprietor, they have access. B, as a bookkeeper, you do have liability risks. Now, I do understand we are only as good as the paperwork received and when we received it, but you only can take that so far. If it is your fault for filing late remittances, you could be at risk to pay penalties and interest. What if you completely missed items you're responsible for and it resulted in additional penalties and interest from an audit? Again, you could be asked to pay for these. Now, as for your insurance in your business, it depends if you're the only person bookkeeping in your company or if you have staff. But a trusted insurance broker can offer you the advice you need in order to make an informed decision on the type of policy you need. Let's take a look at number 2. To enhance your credibility with your clients as their trusted advisor. Because most of the time, freelance bookkeepers end up being more than just bookkeeping. So everyone in business has some sort of liability insurance. To not have insurance sends a perception of you not being a business person yourself. Throughout the years, I have found our clients have asked more business questions than bookkeeping questions. Therefore, you are a trusted advisor in more ways than you think. It is very important that you take business steps like everyone else. Protecting yourself, your company, and your business assets is part of being in business. Number 3, your clients share personal and confidential information with you. Should this information be revealed to a third party, accidentally destroyed, or fall into the hands of someone else, you could be sued. Especially with the bookkeeping and how it works today, we are going from a business office to a home office all the time, so you have to be very careful about that paperwork when it's in transit. Number 4, working in your client's office and using their computers and equipment. Next thing you know, there's an error or accident or serious damage to a piece of equipment. You could be held responsible for the damages to fixing or replacing this equipment. Okay, let's take a break here just for a moment and let me tell you a story or two. I wanted to stop for a moment and take a little further my comment on client office equipment. If you choose to go on site, I would make a conscious effort never to fix their equipment. For example, printers. They're always jamming. I'm the first person to say to a staff member, even the business owner, do you want to go unjam that printer? The reason is, especially if it's an expensive one, I don't want to make it worse and then be presented with a $1,000 repair bill. I'm now going to tell you a little bit of a weird story that happened to us a few years ago. And I do need to say that once you've been in business for a while, you will have your own weird stories. Anyways, this was a company that had 2 partners. And we got called in to take over the books. We actually took over the books from one of the partners, and it was an absolute horrendous cleanup. And something told me that there was some animosity from this partner who had the books taken away from her. So I kind of, kept on going, doing my groovy thing, doing the bookkeeping, and lo and behold, around month 1 or 2, I started getting blamed for things, to a point that I got presented with a $3,000 repair bill for a printer, stating that I was the one that broke it. So next thing you know, I've had enough. I went over to the good owner and had a chat with her and just basically said, she's got to get over it, or you got to find another bookkeeping service. Because this sort of stuff in business should not be happening. It's kind of childlike stuff, and it's not time well spent. So anyways, year went by, everything was good, but doesn't it start happening again? So I gave my notice. But what happens if I actually did break that printer? That would be a $3,000 repair that would be like a chunk of money out of my bank balance. So if I have insurance, at least I have insurance paying for it. So my point here is little unforeseen things can happen and become very expensive things to you. And that's one of the reasons why you need to consider insurance. That's all I needed to say. Let's get back to the next point. Okay, back to number 5. Your advice, is it sound? As a professional, you advise your clients to take certain actions with the anticipation of a specific result. If these results do not transpire as expected, depending on your client and their personality, you could be sued. Number 6. Do you have access to your client's banking information? Well, actually, a lot of the bookkeepers nowadays, we do have access to the banking information, and we download statements, pay bills, and transfer money. So bookkeepers do have this technology and usually use it. But if there was a mysterious disappearance of funds, you could be accused of theft or identity theft. Again, it could take expensive legal fees to prove your innocence. Let's take a look at number 7, slander. An unhappy client can wreak havoc on your business. For various reasons, whether it is your company's fault or not, we have all inherited clients we shouldn't have hired. An unhappy client is high risk for your business. Having insurance allows you to sue them for slander. Number 8, your client's employees. You could be working at their office and an employee trips over your briefcase. If it is a severe enough injury and they are off work for a long period of time, you could have a lawsuit on your hands. Number 9, protecting your business property. Think about your computers, electronic equipment, if you have large amounts of office supplies, production equipment. If you're working from home and you've had a flood, you may have now damaged client property. How about loss of files due to a virus? This could all end up being loss of income for you and also a lawsuit, especially if the client has damaged paperwork. Insurance will cover you. If you're working from your home office, it's important to know that these items are not normally covered under your home insurance. Additional insurance will have to be added to your home policy. And the last one, number 10, slippery accidents on your property. A staff member, a client, or possibly a courier is walking up to your driveway or even your storefront and falls on the ice. Especially if you have a home office and they are arriving for business-related reasons, your home insurance would not cover these injuries. Again, for a home office, check your policy. Usually you need additional insurance for a home-based business. Let's now take a look at the type of insurances you should consider. First and foremost, errors and omissions. It truly is a must. Too many things that can go wrong in business, and next thing you know, you could be ending up paying for penalties and interest out of your pocket. You need to take a look at this. Another type of policy that you need to look at is content. We do have fires and floods and theft, and you want to be able to have insurance to replace this stuff when it has been damaged or disappears. Please remember to take a look at your home policy if you have a home-based business. Throughout my experience, it usually means an additional rider if you have a home-based business. So make sure you're covered because you do have people coming to your door more than usual. Now, what happens if you have theft, floods, or fire? Then an insurance that covers loss of revenue is fabulous while you get your business back up and running. That's something to really take a look at. One of the other things that I feel that is missed quite a bit is life and disability. What happens to you as the business owner, the main key person in the business, and something happens to you? You want to make sure that you can still continue paying your personal bills and making sure that everything is going fine while you are recovering. These are things that you need to consider. It's time to shop for insurance. First and foremost, steer clear if an insurance agent belittles your profession. I'm speaking from experience on this one. In my first couple of years, I asked a local insurance person that I knew very well if I needed insurance, and he said no. After a while, I asked around because something just bothered me. I kept thinking I needed it. When I asked other insurance agents, they said, absolutely, yes, you do. Secondly, steer clear if other bookkeepers say it is a waste of money. That is truly poor advice. If you're looking for other opinions, most certainly call your local bookkeeping association. They're everywhere worldwide. And of course, you can Google companies that carry bookkeeping insurance, and possibly they're in your local area. Okay, so now I know you're chomping at the bit to find out how much coverage do you really need. It's a very good question. You do have to evaluate your own risk. For example, do you have high-profile clients who may increase your liability? How many staff do you have? If you have a lot of computers, printers, furniture, and fixtures, you will have to calculate their value. One question that is always on an application is, what are your current sales? For example, the cost of the policy is going to be different from someone who has $50,000 in sales to someone who has $600,000 in sales. Another question will be, how secure is your location? For example, is your home-based business or your storefront on a very busy street, or are they secluded where it could be high risk for theft? So what you want to do is listen to multiple brokers. Choose the one that you feel most comfortable with. So in summary, for all the things that I've talked about today, and there's many reasons and arguments for taking out and maintaining business insurance, there's many reasons for this. Having it in place, though, should be an important part of your business strategy. Why would you take the risk of not having some sort of insurance? If you are a freelance bookkeeper or going to be one, please connect with a broker and make an informed decision. Until next time, keep on crunching those numbers.
Fiscal Integrity Group, your home for the advancement of bookkeeping and bookkeepers.